The ocean is one of the world's great unknowns, inhabited by not only some of the most fearsome sea monsters but also incredibly large creatures that have inspired researchers throughout the ages. In fact, the largest creature to have ever lived on the planet currently resides in the ocean. Join us as we explore the bigger and biggest creatures that call the ocean their home. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe and click the notification bell for more amazing content. Let's begin. Number 10. The Shionisaurus. About 205 million years ago, it's claimed, a ginormous sea monster, so large it was nearly the size of a modern blue whale, thrived during the late Triassic period and was among the first ichthyosaurs, as well as the largest. But unfortunately, they vanished from the fossil record an estimated 25 million years before the mass extinction that supposedly wiped out the non-avian dinosaurs. Recently, the creature's immense fossil jawbone has been found on a rocky English beach. The discoveries helped researchers to identify this previously unknown species and solve a nearly 170-year-old mystery. Based on the ancient remains of this gigantic marine reptile, researchers believe that it sort of looked like a dolphin that was kind of tubby, except it would have been way bigger than today's dolphins. It measured approximately 85 feet long, making it the largest ichthyosaur on record, and weighed around 30 tons. That made it heavier than 3 elephants or 2 sperm whales. Paleontologists believe that this marine reptile lived off a diet of fish, squids and other primitive cephalopods of the time, and it probably would have had to have eaten quite a bit of them to maintain its rather enormous size. Number 9. The Bootlace Worm. Although it's longer than any shark, whale, squid or other denizens of the marine world, you could step right over it on the beach, several times in fact, without even noticing it. That's because while it could stretch half the length of a football field, it's not much thicker than a strand of spaghetti. Meet the longest creature in the oceans, which is no giant, the bootlace worm. Most of the worm species grow only a few inches, but the bootlace just keeps growing and going and going. It can grow up to 30 to 50 meters in length. In fact, the world record for longest animal is also held by a Scottish bootlace worm that was washed ashore in 1864. This particular specimen had a 55-meter stretched body, and for our viewers' reference, the average adult blue whale is roughly 24 meters long. Though a slimy worm that can stretch to 50 meters long may seem nightmarish enough, experiments reveal that the bootlace worm has another formidable feature. It releases large amounts of toxic mucus, which can paralyze and kill crustaceans and cockroaches. Scientists discovered that the series of different toxins found on bootlace worm skin has a huge potential to be used as insecticidal toxin. Number 8. Leptoserus corals. Next on our list is not just one colossal creature but an entire underwater ecosystem characterized by reef-building corals. Coral reefs are the equivalent of underwater forests, and amazingly 25% of all marine life lives in these coral reefs. Coral reefs vary greatly in size and type. The world's largest coral reef, known as Great Barrier Reef, exists off the coast of Queensland, Australia. The reef is made up of 3,000 reef systems and is the only living organism that's visible from space. It stretches more than 1,800 miles and tops 40 miles wide in some places. Well, hold your excitement, because after the Great Barrier, the Apo Reef in the Philippines is the largest contiguous coral reef, which covers a whopping 67,877 acres. Another large coral reef in the Atlantic Ocean, the Mesoamerican Reef, extends nearly 700 miles and is home to 500 species of fish and over 1,000 manatees. Number 7. The giant squid, dragon of the deep. There are a few monsters left in the world, and one of them for sure is the giant squid. The creature is likely the inspiration for the legendary kraken, which is said to have terrorized sailors since antiquity. These squids have been reported frequently in the media as reaching up to 18 meters in total length, but in actual fact the largest giant squid ever recorded by scientists was almost 43 feet long, which includes the head, body, arms and 2 long feeding tentacles, which are much longer than the rest of its body. The giant squid remains largely elusive. No one knows exactly how long they live for, how they find partners, how they migrate, where they lay their eggs, or even if they make any sounds or not. Giant squids, along with their cousin, the colossal squid, live deep underwater and are rarely seen on the surface. It's also believed to possess the largest eyes out of any animal in the world. In 2004, researchers in Japan took the first images ever of a live giant squid, and in late 2006, scientists with Japan's National Science Museum caught and brought to the surface a live 24-foot female giant squid. Number 6. The lion's mane jellyfish. Growing up to 120 feet long with bills up to 8 feet wide, the lion's mane jelly is the largest known jelly species out there and ranks among Earth's most beautiful creatures. Let's tip our scuba masks to this amazing invertebrate. Lion's mane jellyfish get their name from a mane of long, thin, hair-like tentacles that hang from the underside of the bell-shaped body. They're typically a light to deep orange or crimson color, but can also be yellow, tan, rose, violet, or even white. Its body is bell-shaped and usually grows 30 to 50 centimeters in diameter, with the largest individuals growing to as much as 2.5 meters in diameter. They also have 8 groups of 70 to 150 tentacles. Depending on the size of the individual, these tentacles can range from 9 to just over 36 meters in length. Perhaps you've seen this photo, which happens to be Google Images' #1 search result for giant jellyfish. Many blogs and news sites have claimed that this thing is an especially large lion's mane jellyfish, but so far as we know, this species is far smaller than the monster pictured here, which proves, as you might have guessed, it's photoshopped. Number 5. The megalodon. If you're afraid of sharks, be thankful you didn't live 20 million years ago when the seas were believed to have been patrolled by the megalodon. This monstrous prehistoric shark was more than twice the size of a great white, and now a new detailed analysis has found that megalodon was the largest known predator in Earth's history, reaching lengths of up to 60 to 70 feet and an estimated maximum weight of over 60 tons. To put the size in context, Megalodon has been found to be far larger than the gigantic theropod dinosaurs such as Spinosaurus and T-Rex, as well as the large ocean-going marine reptiles such as Basilosaurus and Tylosaurus. While all of those animals were at least 8 meters in length and often as large as 17.5 meters, they didn't match the length of Megalodon. With its powerful bite, strong enough to crush a mid-sized sedan, and a jaw full of teeth as large as an adult human's hand, it comes as no surprise that its very name, Megalodon, literally translates to big tooth. During its reign, it's believed that the Megalodon preyed through nearly every corner of the early oceans, as their teeth have been found on every continent except Antarctica. To add to your excitement, Megalodon has also been featured in a Hollywood movie. Guess the name. Number 4. The fin whale. Topping the charts at number 4 is the fin whale. It's the second largest animal to ever live. Reaching lengths of at least 85 feet and weight of 80 tons, this species is second only to its close relative, the blue whale. Their incredible size is only possible because of their aquatic lifestyle and the buoyancy provided by seawater. On land, an animal as large as the fin whale would almost certainly be crushed under its own weight. They have a distinct ridge along the back behind the dorsal fin, which gives it the nickname razorback. Fin whales have a very unusual feature. The lower right jaw is bright white, and the lower left jaw is black. Interestingly, though they are enormous, fin whales are not predatory. They filter feed for a tiny krill or small pelagic fish and are totally harmless to people. Surprisingly, fin whales are fast and can sustain speeds of around 35 kilometers an hour. While feeding, they swim around 10 kilometers per hour. They can even burst up to 45 kilometers an hour. Fin whales can live for a really long time. One whale that was killed in Antarctica was discovered to be 111 years old. Number 3. Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus, aka giant mosasaur, was one of the largest mosasaurs of all time. This monster of the deep would have had nothing to fear but others of its own kind when fully grown. They could eat giant fish, sharks, giant squid, giant turtles, plesiosaurs, and other mosasaurs. This deadliest hunter of the ancient seas grew more than 45 feet and was named Tylosaurus for its long, cylindrical snout. Like all mosasaurs, a long and muscular vertically flattened tail powered Tylosaurus through the water, allowing it to ambush its prey with rapid bursts of acceleration. Well, this one on our list is also a Hollywood star, as it appears on screen in the movie Jurassic Park. A giant specimen of one of the largest skeletons of Tylosaurus ever found is also currently on display at the University of Kansas Museum of Natural History. Number 2. The Portuguese Manowar. Anyone unfamiliar with the biology of the venomous Portuguese Manowar would likely mistake it for a jellyfish. Not only is it not a jellyfish, it's not even an it, but a they. The Portuguese Manowar is a siphonophore, an animal made up of a colony of organisms working together. But the question is, how did this small and bizarre-looking creature land up on our top of our list of the largest living creatures in the sea? The answer lies in feeding tentacles lurking below the surface of the water. These long, thin tendrils of it can stretch up to 165 feet long underwater, which is almost as long as the Leaning Tower of Pisa is tall. Not all Manowars have such impressive appendages though. The average tentacle length is about 30 feet. Though the odds of being killed by a Portuguese Manowar are slim, just because deaths are rare doesn't mean you should touch one. An unlucky victim suffered a full cardiovascular collapse and died after getting too close to a Manowar in eastern Florida back in 1987. More recently, a woman swimming off Sardinia was stung by one and died of what was believed to be anaphylactic shock. Number 1. The blue whale. Most of us have seen photos of a glorious gigantic blue whale. The blue whale is the largest animal ever known to have existed, even outsizing dinosaurs. Their hearts are the size of a car. Its beat can be detected from 2 miles away, and just to give you a better perspective, a large blue whale is about the same length as a Boeing 737 airplane, and its tongue alone weighs about 4 tons. Mature blue whales can measure anywhere from 75 feet to 100 feet from head to tail. Blue whales prefer to live very far beneath the ocean's surface where food is plentiful and obstacles are few. And guess what? The most astonishing thing about this big ocean animal is that they feed on the smallest creatures like zooplankton, krill and copepods. They can consume an astounding 3.6 metric tons of them each day. Sadly, because of commercial whaling, the species almost went extinct by the 20th century. Thankfully, it has slowly recovered following the global whaling ban. Though blue whales are much too large to be kept in captivity, they can be seen if you know where and when to look. To have a chance of seeing a blue whale in the wild, try whale watching off the coast of California, Mexico or Canada during the summer and fall. See if you're lucky enough to see this mammoth species. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.